Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on tonight? As you can see, me and my co-host is up here tonight. And I'm so glad to be here. It is Talk That Talk Tuesday. Guys, if you if you missed the show last night, please go back and watch it. It was a powerful episode last night when we reacted. So please go back and watch that. Mr. Bennett, I sent him I sent you the link already. Coach K, you there?
I'm here.
All right, let me go on camera because I've been trying to. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on, girl? Hey, listen, I'm so glad you feel better. How you feeling?
I'm good. It was just like a one-off day, long week, but I'm good. I'm back, ready to go.
Absolutely, man. So good to see you, Shook. So good to see you.
Good to see you.
So listen, did you get a chance to watch the show last night?
I watched a little bit of it and I was just appalled.
Man, woo!
I watched the video, especially that you guys were reacting to, and I just can't.
Yeah. She said 6, 10, and 12. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to tell you what that means. You got to go watch it. 6, 10, and 12. Those numbers are significant. So make sure you go and watch the show from last night that we did last night on Reaction Monday. All right, so it's good to see you, Coach K. We're going to have a great show tonight. My co-host is in the building. I'm so glad to see you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start bringing up the people here. And first I want to bring up my guy all the way down. He's a Cleveland Browns fan, guys, so you got to forgive him. Okay, you got to forgive him. But let's give it up for Tyrus is in the building tonight. All right. And then I'm going to bring up my boy, my brother from another mother. Give it up for JT from What We Do Podcast is in the building tonight. Yes, indeed. Yeah. All right. And then we also, guys, listen, if he ain't here, I don't want to do it. But listen, we got Mr. Bennett is in the building tonight. All right. Okay, listen, just got through boxing. He's preparing for a boxing match, a celebrity boxing match against Michael B. Jordan. So I definitely want to give it up for my guy. Dusto is in the building tonight. All the way from the Dustosphere, the president of the Dustosphere is in the building tonight. All right, he just got through training with Curve Dick Roosevelt, so we'll talk about this later. All right.
Hey, I'm coming back. I'm switching computers.
Okay, cool. All right, listen, y'all don't know about the Shy because listen, if y'all know about the Shy, I got somebody here to tell you, take you on a trip. All right, my girl that's been with me since day one. Give it up for Sheree B. Chicago is in the building tonight. What's going on? What's up? All right, man. It's so good to see you guys tonight. Last night, now I want to make sure everybody's good first before we do a recap of last night. How's everybody doing today? We'll start with Tyrus. How are you today, my brother?
I fully recovered from the Browns debacle from Sunday.
Okay.
I'm in good spirits now, so
yeah. We've been praying for you. You
stay praying for the Browns. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely not working.
Like, you guys are much better.
And hey, look, that's they over there where the Bengals at. So she's they killing the game right now.
We can't. Yeah, for once we can't say. I can't say anything though.
All right. So my boy JT, What We Know podcast is in the building, man. How are you tonight, my brother? How's family? How's life? You muted, my brother.
I know. I got a case. No, since them Lions been winning, I've been doing pretty good. How about them Lions, Mr. Bennett? How about them Lions, man?
No longer Cubs.
All right. Yeah, man. Listen, the Lions, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make this prediction. Nobody wants to see the Lions in the playoffs.
No.
They're going to be a team that's going to upset some people. I'm having a great year. But we'll talk about that tomorrow on 1-on-1 Sports Show. All right. So, yes, Mr. Bennett, how are you doing tonight?
Well, I am not recovered from my Steelers loss over the weekend. I just saw my season just kind of leave me at that point. So I'm still getting over that. But we must, we got to eat one. First losing season in quite some time is looking that way now. But hey, on to next year. So I'm trying to do well, but overall though, I'm doing well. I am a bit in a reflective mode. I know Brother Hank was here. He's always talking about how brothers need to be taking care of themselves. And unfortunately, in the last couple of weeks, I've seen 2 guys under 60 years old, good friends of mine, who are no longer here. And so it's just a constant reminder that, we definitely, man, we get into our 40s, into our 50s, all those things you need to do to take care of yourself. Don't wait until you get sick before something happens to you. So that's not my closeout for the day. I'll save that for Brother Hank if he shows up today. But, but it definitely gives you a lot of perspective in terms of, what's really important in life and the things you need to be focusing your time and attention on. So.
Absolutely, Mr. Bennett, man. So thank you. We also have Dusto in the house. Dusto, how are you doing tonight, my brother?
Things you need to be focusing your time and attention on. So.
Somebody got the YouTube on in the background.
That was me. I took care of it.
Okay. How are you doing tonight, my brother?
All is well. Just a lot of dust. Just got on another panel, dusting somebody off for dust. Normal.
Yeah. So
You've been around a lot of dust lately, I've noticed.
And how was CDR doing tonight?
CDR.
Yeah, Curve Dick Roosevelt. I'm gonna let you. Mandrell is in the building tonight. Mandrell, they call Mandrell Sweet Dick Willie. What's going on, Mandrell? How you doing tonight, my brother?
Fix your face.
No, I just came back from a dustathon, an the biggest, dustiest dustathon. I didn't think it could get any dustier than
Mandrell.
the shit. Huh?
Taru said he can go over there and motivate him. He can talk.
No.
No, he said he got this.
No, he said that again, Dusto. He said that there's some people and a lot more people than Tarus realizes, and he's gonna find out shortly while he's on YouTube. Some people, suffice it to say, just can't be helped. They're gone, and it's way more people than you would think or be willing to accept. But they're done. They're gone, bro.
Most of them can be saved, man.
No, they can't. No, the vast majority cannot be. We're done. Wait, as a race, black people, it's a wrap.
Okay, man. We're
done. We ain't coming back.
We got a whole show to do, bro. So listen.
You can close it out now, Black Man. He already gave us.
He always comes in with a lot.
Thank you guys for being here tonight. Now, I will say this to the chat. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are always undefeated. Make sure you keep that chat live and in living color for us tonight. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you will see the Cash App rolling at the bottom. If you want to join the channel, please do that. If you want to send a Cash App and a Super Chat, please do that as well. I will be forever grateful for that. Also, tonight we want to have a conversation about this topic. Coach K sent me a text message and said, no, she sent me a message and said, I just read the title. What is going on?
I know.
Look, Coach K, we're glad you're here because we need more white babies. We need more white babies. More white babies. And should there be a license to have children? Also ProCreate as well. We're going to address that tonight. And so I have a few videos we're going to go over, and you guys will know what I'm talking about in a second. I bet people are like, what the hell is he talking about? All right. So there was a show. Dr. Field had a show, and some people we know were on the show. We know Anton was on the show. Shout out to Anton. And we also know that Jesse Lee Peterson was actually on the show as well. So we definitely
Pastor Jesse Lee Peterson.
Pastor Jesse Lee Peterson. Yes. The one that liked, we'll talk about that in a second as well. So I mean, it's going to be tough tonight. So again, I want to start out with the video first. And I want to start out with the procreation. No, I'm going to start out with Anton first and what he had to say. Fair use, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've doubled up this video to the point where they were like, damn, I can't even see it. But you'll be able to see a little bit of it and hear it. So here we go. This is Anton talking about CJ. I'm just sending that fool a link. Here's the video, guys.
I don't believe that poor people should be having children. Having children when you don't have money creates more problems for the kids and society at large. And let's be honest, it's the middle class and, more importantly, rich people that are now responsible for paying for poor people's children. I know it's an unpopular truth, but I believe that every person should pass a test proving that they're income worthy prior to having kids. It's a false narrative that's being sold to people that you're entitled to have children and you don't need the resources or the money to be able to pay for them or support them. Having kids is way too easy, and the people that's having the most kids tend to be the worst people in society. I think it's irresponsible, and just because you don't like it don't mean that it's not the truth, and you're not entitled to have kids just because you can. Well, it depends on where you live in the United States, right? First. But more importantly, I think that it is important to acknowledge that the people that have the majority of the kids are the ones that shouldn't be having kids. And then that becomes a burden on the people that actually have resources, which we then start to say, take more resources from people that have, and then we become a socialist society where we start to pass out more resources, and then we babysit. We make our teachers become overglorified babysitters instead of being able to actually teach. Because if you've grown up in the environments that I've grown up in, even though we had resources, you realize that most of these environments and teachers and these kids become latchkey kids, and they don't have the resources. And then you take into consideration that inflation is at an all-time high, and it's becoming more and more expensive every single year in order to give a kid the resources that they need in order to be able to thrive.
All right. So,
First
ladies
of all,
and
if
gentlemen,
you're rich and you're paying taxes, you're doing it wrong, Anton.
so we'll start with Mr. Bennett. What are your thoughts on what Mr. Anton said?
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Well, firstly, as far as poor people having kids, I mean, the majority of the world is poor, right? I mean, we have a 1% of the wealth is 1% of the population controls 99% of the wealth. So if you were going to use that as a strategy, then, you know, the planet just simply wouldn't populate itself, because most people, certainly if you're an African American, if you grew up like my parents did, the parents before them, you grew up in poverty. You might have had a farm, you might have been, you know, slave, whatever your lot in life was. So it wouldn't be able to, we wouldn't be here if poor people didn't, through the Depression and through all those times when you had famines and things like that, if the drive to reproduce wasn't there. So for him to, from the position that he's at, and this is a problem I oftentimes have with people of his ilk, you always think from a position of from where you are, not from where you came from. And so that's always going to be a conversation that's going to be just very lacking. The second thing is just from the standpoint of what we're saying, just from more developed nations, and we've talked about this before also, the more developed the nation is, in other words, the more well-off people are, generally speaking, you have fewer children. That trend is also changing things. So if you think, okay, because you're rich, unless you're Nick Cannon, you're not having 10, 11 children. So that being the case, so, you know, so again, his logic is going to be flawed just based on the trends that we're seeing. You have little countries around the world where their populations are declining. Even in the US, our population, we're not replacing our population. And so we're relying on things like integration and whatnot to bring, you know, others in and keep the population going. But you have to have a balance there. And I like what the gentleman's saying here. You know, there's a difference between being poor and being irresponsible. You can be poor as anything, but again, as long as you have good values, you can change your state in life. But poor is also a mindset as well. So when you have people who are doing irrational things, doing the wrong things, not marrying before carrying and things of that nature, yeah, that can lead to destructive behaviors and outcomes in a society. But I often find that those who didn't have much appreciate when they do get it. So I think on both levels, I think his arguments are in a bubble, in a vacuum from his ivory tower where he makes these statements. I think that's where I'm coming from, but it doesn't get us anywhere.
All right. So, Sheree, what are your thoughts? You there, Sheree?
She might be frozen.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go. Yeah. You may have to go out and come back in because you're chopping up a little bit.
Okay.
You chopping up. You might have to go out and come back up. But Coach K, until she gets hers done, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
So I wasn't really like shocked by what he said because I've listened to Anton and I've heard him express like similar views. Even the show I was on with Just Pearly Things, when I showed my dad that show on Lapeef, the biggest comment or like the biggest problem he had was about when Anton was saying that people that make 150K, anything under that, they shouldn't have kids. My dad was like, really surprised by that. So I wasn't surprised. However, Gilded Kwan put in the chat, and I thought that was good. We should separate poor from irresponsible. Of course, like, I don't think a lot of maybe lower class or like, socioeconomic status wise, people aren't planning maybe, but you always hear people say you're never going to be able to afford a kid. So it's like, I think people should consider things more, but at the same time, I mean, there's just so many variables that go into this than to just blanketly say that poor people shouldn't have kids. And I don't even go into the whole, like, we're overpopulated stuff. I don't even entertain any of that. So yeah, that's all I got really.
Yeah, can't nobody hear you yet, Black Man, until you get off mute.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, CJ. I'm not famous. However, that did happen. One clip talking about the responsibility. What was the clip? Hell, I forgot now. Oh, anyway, it was a clip talking about responsibility of men's vulnerability and how men, you only get one chance for a man to share his vulnerability with you. And after that, he doesn't trust you anymore. And that video got 1.3 million views in 2 days.
Viral.
It went viral. So appreciate you, CJ, man, for always supporting me, brother, and everybody else that supports me as well on this panel. So I want to go to Mandrell. What are your thoughts?
First of all, if you're rich and you're paying taxes, you're doing it wrong. That's number one. So that was he was full of shit on that one. The rich ain't subsidizing anybody's lifestyle except their own. Okay, so either he doesn't know or he's capping on that one. Also, my opinion is pretty much the exact same as Mr. Bennett. Most people on the planet is poor, and it's not 1% control. It used to be 80%, but now, like Mr. Bennett said, it's in the 90 percentile of how much of the world's wealth the 1% controls. You know what I mean? So if poor people don't, and I think like the next 20% or 18% now is middle class, and the rest is poor, working poor. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to do? We're going to depopulate ourselves? Then what? Who's going to be waiters at restaurants? Who's going to work construction and build skyscrapers? Who's going to build airplanes? Vehicle maintenance. You know what I mean? So I think he's saying saying things like most people do. They speak out of emotion as opposed to actually thinking it all the way through and really thinking about what he's asking for, because that would be disastrous. The poor people just stop having children, you know. And how would you legislate that? I mean, like what society is going to tolerate it? Not Americans. So, you know.
All right. So, Sheree, what are your thoughts on the video?
Am I still choppy?
No, you're not choppy. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. I don't know. That was just that's an aggressive way to say that you don't accept the poor. I guess it was just odd to say, because it's like it's a lot of majority of the people that, or a lot of people that make money, or the millionaires, are self-made millionaires, which means they came from a poor background. So it's very odd to say that, hey, you know, poor people shouldn't have children. Then those kids wouldn't become the millionaires that he's talking about that's going to help the poor. So it's just a weird thing to say altogether. I understand the mindset though of, like, you know, being poor and not being able to take care of children.
You breaking up again, CBC. You breaking up again? You
I'm sorry
want
now.
to just get yeah. You get yeah. Go ahead and take care of whatever you need to take care of. We got you. You good.
Okay.
So while you're doing that, we'll go ahead and get Tyrus. What are your thoughts on the video?
Man, you know, you can always tell who's grifting when they claim to be wealthy and know how to move, and they don't understand basic shit like purchasing power. And this man just demonstrated that he doesn't understand shit about purchasing power, and he doesn't understand the importance of birth rates just from an economic standpoint. Here's a perfect example. As you guys know, my wife is German. I've been married for 15 years. You know what's funny about Germany? The fact that it's the #1 economic powerhouse in Europe. They pay German citizens and immigrants what's called Kindergeld. What that is a child stipend every single month. And do you want to know why they do that? Because their education or their population is so educated that their birth rates are so ridiculously low. You realize why so many Syrians and Africans went to Western Europe? Because countries like Germany was like, yo, come over here, because our native born people ain't having babies. Those rich European countries literally paying people to have sex and create babies, to be as reckless as possible, because that's how you sustain a country. That's how you sustain the labor market. Right? Like, no matter what kind of society you design, that is a foundation amongst human beings, period. And so when these dudes are talking about overpopulation, dude, by the way, quick thing, panel. Do you know that if you added up all the human beings in the world, they can fit in Texas in an 1,800-foot square radius, and there still be millions of square miles freed up?
Don't tell any liberals that, but yeah.
Do you know that
but the thing is, if you can fit into the city of Los Angeles.
Mandrell. This country,
Yeah,
I hate people who make the poor people argument shouldn't have kids, right? I hate because they're always on this eugenics BS. They always on this crap talking about income, not understanding purchasing power. And then they be the most selfish, greediest people. I mean, America, we can't be talking about overpopulation when literally 40% of our food on an annual basis ends up in the fucking garbage. How much of that 40% of edible food could go feed entire countries? We don't have a resource problem. We have a resource gatekeeping problem. And grifters like that, they're the ones who spread those false narratives. I'm sorry, man. Like these arguments, man, it really pisses me off.
Let me ask you something else. You said again, I want you to repeat to the people in the back. What is it called again in Germany where they give you the stipend? What is the stipend called?
Kindergeld.
Kindergeld. Okay. All right.
Right. So the
Netherlands
will have.
Is it still for 3 years?
No, it goes all the way up. They go all the way up to. So at 3 years they lower it, and then they stop at 18 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So JT, why you up, man? What are your thoughts on the video, my brother?
Well, first and foremost, populating is not a privilege. It's actually our duty. We have to have each other. You know that. So, yeah, that argument that he had, I think he just, was trying to be a shock jock on Dr. Phil because he was on national TV. You can't really be thinking that narrow-minded when it comes down to that. It's just at the point where what he's talking about is what Tyrus was just saying, where you had these people talking about eugenics. We was on your show one time, and remember we was talking about the licenses to have kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I said, well, do y'all propose that people will be born sterile? And everybody's like, no. Oh, that's the only way you'll be able to do it. That's a form of eugenics. So yeah, we have to find balance into that. And I'm just like y'all. I like what my man had put into the chat, where you can't confuse poor with irresponsible. That's that's just not. Those two don't go together.
Absolutely. Before we do that, information man, to let me know in the chat, man, because this is a conversation I would love to have your perspective on, brother, because I know you're going to bring that heat. So if you can come up, man, I can send you the link right now. He said, Black Man Unfiltered, much respect. This is a conversation that he would literally, last time he was on, we had a guy on here said, what's the difference between the KKK and Black Lives Matter? And it went real good after that with information, man. We had to lead a panel, let them two handle that. But so if you could come up, I'm going to play something for you real quick, and then we'll continue the show. Let's see what I got from our guy here. I'll play the young lady. It's real short, so we can get back to it. Here we go.
What's for me will always be for me, and I'll get what I always was meant to receive. I gotta wait on it, wait on it, wait on it, wait for it, wait for it, wait.
All right. Thank you for that $5 super chat, man. I appreciate your information, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. Oh, he asked for the link. Oh, y'all definitely got to send it to him. Let me see. Let me send it to him. Right?
I will.
All right, let me see. All right, you got it, brother. Okay, so Mandrell went. Okay, so Hink, man, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you, man.
What's up, my guy? What's going on?
Oh, so I think you and I already seen the video of Anton on Dr. Phil, right?
Nah, I didn't see none of that.
Okay. So what I'll do is while we wait on Information Man to come up, I'll replay it. Here it is.
I don't believe that poor people should be having children. Having children when you don't have money creates more problems for the kids and society at large. And let's be honest, it's the middle class and, more importantly, rich people that are now responsible for paying for poor people's children. I know it's an unpopular truth, but I believe that every person should pass a test proving that they're income worthy prior to having kids. It's a false narrative that's being sold to people that you're entitled to have children and you don't need the resources or the money to be able to pay for them or support them. Having kids is way too easy, and the people that's having the most kids tend to be the worst people in society. I think it's irresponsible, and just because you don't like it don't mean that it's not the truth, and you're not entitled to have kids just because you can. Well, it depends on where you live in the United States, right? First. But more importantly, I think that it is important to acknowledge that the people that have the majority of the kids are the ones that shouldn't be having kids. And then that becomes a burden on the people that actually have resources, which we then start to say, take more resources from people that have, and then we become a socialist society where we start to pass out more resources, and then we babysit. We make our teachers become overglorified babysitters instead of being able to actually teach. Because if you've grown up in the environments that I've grown up in, even though we had resources, you realize that most of these environments and teachers and these kids become latchkey kids, and they don't have the resources. And then you take into consideration that inflation is at an all-time high, and it's becoming more and more expensive every single year in order to give a kid the resources that they need in order to be able to thrive.
All right. So, Brother Hink, what are your thoughts?
I don't let me say this. I don't disagree with everything he say, but I don't know about trying to police people and them having kids who are poor. I mean, I agree. There are some people who should be having kids, especially these irresponsible type people. They shouldn't be having kids, but what can you do? You can't control it. I mean, you can't sterilize them. Nothing you can really do about that.
Right.
I don't know. That rest of stuff I don't agree with.
Absolutely. So, Dusto, last but not least, my brother, what are your thoughts?
Mild Dust. Here's the deal. Rich people don't pay for the kids. It's lower middle working class that's paying. And I know he knows that. But I do agree with in some of what's saying, but the form of how it was expressed, I don't agree with. But the thing about having kids is not always about, well, you have 46, you make, how much money do you make? 78,000. Your wife makes 46. That means you're in this tax bracket. My parents weren't rich when they had us. They raised all three of us, and we're in good situations. They weren't rich. But if you knew who my father was, who my mother was, and what they decided to do when they had kids, they decided to be husband and wife and be parents and raise kids. Now, most of these people out here ain't that. Let's be real. Some raw dog Ronnies and then some trash box Lisas out there getting bent over, stroked out, Ubered, stuck, clobbered, smashed, and drilled. That's unacceptable. It's correct. There should be a plan prior to the kid, not just sticking your meat in a dark hole or one leg up there and one duct tape to the ceiling and just letting anybody jump through it, and then blaming the government and oppression because the kids didn't popped out. So it's kind of some truth in both ways, but the way it was expressed, I don't agree with. If you're gonna have some kids, they don't get a choice in where to. So it shouldn't be on some selfish whatever. I feel like getting some booty, so now it's some kid and I'm stuck. It should be on some, hey, I have a plan for you to actually be somewhere, and this home is somewhere that you want to grow up. There was another thing, and I can't remember what it was that I was gonna say. It'll come to me eventually.
How many of you guys shared a bedroom with like 2 or 3 siblings growing up? I know my dad did. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My dad did too. It was 12 of them.
Yeah.
My grandfather had a plan.
Yep.
Right.
And my grandmother was the oldest of 22. And
That's
they all
22.
stayed in a 2-bedroom house. I don't know how they made that happen.
Yeah, my grandmother was
But
the
they
oldest
did.
of 16.
Yeah, Jesus. So guys, again, thank you guys for being here. If you're just coming in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I know this is not going to be a popular show because people really, when it gets down to the nitty gritty, now, you know, if I put in the title, I'm going to slap a bitch tonight, it'll be 100 people over here. However, we got to have these serious, I'm just being funny, but we got to have these serious conversations because they got to be had. And somebody's watching and we got to entertain. I remember a pastor used to say, if it's 2 people here, I'm still going to preach because the word of God still must get to the people. Right. So we still got to move forward. So again, I want to play the second video, which is a procreation video that we got to listen to as well. Take a look at this.
I think that's the most important thing we need today. Hundreds of millions of couples are denied their right to not procreate. But you were mentioning
how's that?
Oh, go ahead.
How are they denied that right?
They do not have the contraceptive services, reproductive health services that they need. Those are not provided. And maybe people should supply their own, but they can't afford it because they're having more offspring that they can't feed.
Where's that?
Just about everywhere. Try to get a sterilization here in America when you haven't had kids and you're only 22.
That's true.
We're not allowing people to not breed.
You see people like that all the time, and you can put an IUD in. A copper IUD is effective for 10 years. It's inert.
Have you ever walked in a
effective.
grocery store and seen a lady with a bonnet on her head with 8 kids walking behind her? You think that she's being responsible? You think that she's really taking into consideration what she's supposed to do responsibly? You think that she's not on Section 8 housing? You don't think that we paying for her to house her kids, who's probably going to grow up and steal my wheels off my car?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a reality. I'm not here to tell people what they want to hear. I'm here to tell the truth.
How did we get to the wheels on you?
Because the people that are having kids are some of the worst in society. And when you put them in an environment and they have to be raised without the resources in order for them to be able to thrive, often at times they become the ones that we have to take care of, whether it be the prisons that we build for them or the social services that we have to create for them. And they do not become more educated and do things differently. They breed more. That's what happens.
All right, Mr. Bennett, rock and roll. You muted.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
You good.
I'm still processing that, to be honest with you.
Go ahead. I get somebody.
Why don't you come back to me on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Sheree, what's going on?
Come on, Paul. What's wrong, Mr. Bennett?
I'm still processing that.
I'm still downloading too.
Man,
Tyrese.
Tyrus.
Tyrus, you still think everyone can be saved, even him?
Not, bro. Grifters can't be saved, but the people who listen to them can. And this is the problem. Like, these are the same kind of dudes, right? Who make the argument, who don't ever give a fuck about like children and homeless vets until there's an immigration crisis, and then they're the first one going, well, how come we aren't trying to get veterans off the street? What about these homeless children? Well, wait, you didn't give a fuck about them prior to us bringing up this specific situation. Now all of a sudden you care? Man, get the fuck out of here. But these kind of dudes make that money spreading this sort of hate, man. And I just got to be as intensely, I don't know, aggressive toward that as he is toward pushing that kind of bullshit out to society, man. I fucking hate dudes like that. Hey, I'm sorry, man. I got to be muted most of the time because this dude.
So, Brother Hink, what are your thoughts? You muted, brother.
No,
Mandrell, fix your face.
I care less, man. I give a shit less. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you know, I ain't got nothing to say, man. I care less about that bullshit. You know, of course, none of what he's talking about is going to end up happening anyway, because we don't live in a communist society, so we don't have to worry about that. But sound like he needs to move to North Korea, and all of those things he's talking about, he's gonna get. He don't have to worry about that. But in the good old United States, the one he praises and uplifts, they're not gonna allow that to happen. So,
yo, this dude is literally using the same argument that these white supremacists use to justify trying to wipe us out. Y'all understand that? The poor people, who do y'all think is disproportionately that affects in America? Historically has always affected in America. And now you got somebody who looked like us literally advocating for our own demise. Like God damn, man.
Yeah. So, we'll Mandrell, check the back chat. So, Coach K, we'll go to you. What are your thoughts?
Cannot with you. I don't know where you come up with this stuff. Some of the back chat guys, don't worry about it. So I love how what Anton was saying again. It's just like typical like YouTube shit, you know. But it was so unnecessary because it totally like went over what the guy was just saying before, which was, and I didn't see the full episode, but it sounds like the guy before him, the white guy, is for people, you know, getting sterilized. I'm sure he's very pro-choice. And it's just, that was disgusting. And it's like, why would you kind of like overshadow that with some BS? You know what I mean? Like that's what I really like highlighted in my mind, I guess, and not the other bullshit. Like that's just like typical shit. You know what I mean? But this is such a big topic, like philosophically, morally. Like I'm thinking about my faith. I'm a Christian. And also too, I'm very limited government. So why? And then I'm also like we in America or in the Western world, we're so privileged to say this type of shit. You know what I mean? Like to say these things, you know, we have so much in this country. I mean, while still the poor, they're still poor, of course, you know, I don't want to dismiss that. But at the same time, look at the rest of the world. Like some of the topics that, especially white people, and I'm freaking white, but they say things. I don't know if you were saying something, Black man. But
no, you good.
Okay.
I was reading something.
Okay, you're good. But I'll end with this. It's like they worry about things are literally first world problems, you know? And it's like, it's appalling.
Right. There's a time and place when you could use the first world problems and when you just got to stick to things that are uniquely American. And right now we got this issue is really uniquely American. No, it's not unique to America that the birth rates decline in Western countries because of education, because of economic development, but it's damn sure unique in how we discuss it and how we go about it and how our culture tries to cultivate this narrative that somehow the answer is to just not let poor people have children.
I think Europe probably has these conversations too, at least as far as like climate change and shit, but like
No, they don't.
sure?
They already had the conversation. That's why Kinderguild exists.
No,
They
like
came up
not
with this
like more like the UK.
Oh, you mean British America? Yeah, they don't come. Look at them. They literally like look at Brexit. How do you create something and then be like, nah, I'm good. This
We
ain't
don't
my
need to go
thing
down
no
there,
more.
but yeah, I know. Yeah.
So, Mandrell,
Yeah.
So Mandrell, what are your thoughts? You muted. Is he alive? Mandrell,
blinking his eyes.
what's your thoughts on the video?
Oh, okay. You know how I feel about race traders and the like. I mean, you hear I go off on Kanye, so I want to call him what I want to call him, but YouTube yelled at me. They called me a bully.
Yeah,
Black man, you remember that? They called me a.
You are.
The guy got $147 million in the bank account, and I'm the bully.
What'd you call him?
The other word.
I can't. I'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll tell you.
I'll tell you in the back. Say it in the back. Yeah. But I found it hilarious, and they snatched the video and the whole nine. We can't even hear it no more. But
everything, yeah.
But no, this I don't like. He's doing the same thing that Candace Owens does, whereas she says things. She makes money off of it's habit. Shut up.
You almost said it.
Yeah, she says things to make white supremacists and bigots comfortable for money. And I'm not saying Anton is working towards that angle, but that it's the same stupid rhetoric. Go ahead. What's up, Coach?
Actual white supremacists, like you can find them on the bandwidth or the not these websites, but like Odyssey, BitChute, they don't F with Candace. Okay. I'm just going to let you know that right now. Like her stuff does not appeal to actual, I'm just letting you know. Because I don't want to blur those lines and just like, you know what I mean? Then everyone's a white supremacist and no one's a white supremacist. You know what I mean?
Right. I think I know that and I understand it, but that doesn't mean she's not trying. Yeah, she's trying to. Yeah, and that's the thing. She thinks that that's what bigots want to hear, but no, she figures that she's still black. So,
right. And my thing is, if she broke down in the deep south, on the side of the road at midnight, and she was walking to find gas, do you think those white men would stop and invite her to to come speak at a rally? No, they would no.
No, they wouldn't, and that's the thing. She does it for a paycheck, and Anton, why he would do this and use that it's the language that he's using to describe it to state his case. That's what I have an issue with. I could sit here and have a conversation with him about the topic. I could debate him about the topic, but the language he used on a national stage, it's like, bro, why? For what? You know what I'm saying? So that's my issue with it. And
he believes it though. That's the it's not like he hasn't been talking like he's been talking like this.
Yeah,
he's been. Yeah. It's
okay. Well, he's been on the air for a couple of years. I don't know how long he's thought like this. Because what I'm saying, even Candace Owens was a liberal, I guess, at one point in time.
She was. So, and she sued the school. She sued the school and won like $80,000 for racial discrimination.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So she was a bleeding heart liberal at one point in time. But this, I would think I disagree with it. I don't know what else to say. The video speaks for itself, in my opinion.
Right.
If you know what you're looking at. So it's like
we do understand that white supremacists do use Candace Owens as some of their rhetoric and talking point, correct?
So but right here, like, Kevin C, I want to thank you so much for the $4.91 super chat. I appreciate it. That's Honduras dollars, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody who's watching. What is he saying? No, it's $4. Thank you for the $4.91 super chat. I appreciate you, my brother. And he says Anton badly framed his words, probably should say having kids within the construct of marriage. Kids really need two stable parents, though. All right. Thank you so much.
I don't think so. I think he chose his words exactly the way he wanted to state them, because I think there is a profit in promoting an image of Black dysfunction. And so
you had the frame of it.
Hold that thought, y'all. We're gonna play the super chat, then we'll come right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick commercial. Everybody want to get some water and take a quick piss or something. Do that, and we'll be right back.
That's funny. You will give me jam, baby. I ain't going nowhere. I'm chilling right here. Me and a record jam on the track, chilling with the pocket queen. No, you weren't expecting this, so not like this. Nah, to the hook, no. Ain't that like when I sing freestyle? Ain't that like when I do it 3 times? You ain't do the best, You ain't even better this, Everybody get the melody comes on, the rhythm to hold on. We can't let it go, no. Ooh, ain't that like when I do it 3 times? That's honey.
All right. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. All right. So, Mr. Ben, I think you were about to rock.
I'm just saying that there is a market for that kind of promotion and selling the boogeyman image of Black culture, of Black America. That's the image that people who are watching that's the perception that they're getting into their minds. And I think there's a profit to be made from that. And I think that a lot of these people, like Candace, like him, I think they're very strategic in the words that they choose. I don't think that's just bad wordplay. I think he's smart enough to know better than that. And I don't think he's necessarily always believed that, but it is a profitable venture, unfortunately, that some people take. So,
absolutely. So we'll go to Dust. No, Sheree was about to cook too. No, JT then Sheree. My bad. I'm sorry.
So yeah, if you seen the whole show, the show was kind of mixed with people that were like the white man they showed on there that was about people having the right to not have children, and he came and he conflated his point, and you had another person that actually argued his point where they were talking about the population control of people having kids with no discernment. Then you had, Anton, and then you had these other doctors and everybody else that was in there. So this whole thing was based off of an underlying subject of eugenics. That's basically what it was. Should we or not practice eugenics? And should we get a lot more extreme with it? So that was one of the things where because you had some people that were talking about, all of this stuff that y'all are talking about is crazy. What we really need is people to have children, but with discernment, where you have 2 households, a balanced mom, a balanced dad, they teach you morals and things like that. But that wasn't what they were doing. They were conflating that whole thing, man. I mean, I understand it because look at where we at right now in today's society. So if you only look at it in one sense, I can see looking at it the way that Anton looks at it also. Just like he was trying to make the point, I don't know how he went with stealing his hubcaps or his wheels or whatever. But, you have in certain neighborhoods, and I think he is originally from where I'm originally from, Detroit. So, you have these communities, man, that's very terrible. Some of the most of our criminals, like that's murderers and gangbangers, they are anywhere from 12 to, like 17. And now it's so bad where, you got family members killing each other on the regular now. Uncle killing nephew, son killing mom killing daughter, mom killing son. So it's a lot that's going on, and we having it bad over this way. It's terrible. It's very terrible. I can understand the point, but you can't just look at it in one way.
All right, Sheree.
Well, it's I was kind of gonna going to the point of what Mr. Bennett was saying, because it's kind of hard to take him serious. Sometimes I look at him like I look at Kanye. You don't know what you're about to get sometimes. Just sometimes. Because he does continue with the same rhetoric, though. If you look at some of his other videos, you probably hear something else. I think on some level, he kind of, you know, he likes to get that kind of reaction sometimes. And you can tell, because then after he say it, he does this kind of smirk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what is that smirk? And that smirk, he makes you question the sincerity of what he's saying. He knew the bonnet comment and the wheel comment was going to provoke some type of reaction. Did you see the one lady in the back that was like, because it's like, you know, she was like, whoa, she was surprised. Like, this man really up here saying this? And it's unfortunate that, you know, because this is the same, I'm saying, because this is the same who doesn't believe that are still underlying racism going on in the country. He doesn't believe that. He believes that we are exaggerating everything. So because he doesn't believe that, it's like he's trying to revoke some type of emotion because he knows poke at racist stereotypes. You're poking the bear. You know, so I just, it's hard to take him seriously sometimes. It just is.
All right. So what about you, Duster? What are your thoughts? Hey Bethany, hey Cody, Army vet, how y'all doing tonight? Quincy, what's going on? All right, go ahead, Duster.
Y'all know where I stand, and know I can't stand victim talk in any sort. Even though stuff does exist and stuff is the way it is, hey, things are the way they are. That's just what it is. But comments unnecessary. There's just some things you don't say. Sometimes you don't say things that you don't say the way that you don't say the things you don't say. And he said one of them things. Now, when that's said, when you get wrapped up in it, what do you do? What are you actually doing when you get wrapped up in it? You're feeding into it. You're biting the bait. So if there's 5 black men arguing about it, now you got 6 victims. Now 6 clowns that could have been doing some over here, about some over there. They're all wrapped up in it. Now I get where they were responding. When you get wrapped up into it, I'm just saying.
All right. So I got one more. Put your seatbelt on.
Is it Jesse?
Here's Jesse. Jesse Lee Peterson, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear him out. Here we go.
Do you think?
I know that we need to restore the family. We need a smaller government because government don't make anything work. They screw you up. We need to stop taking care of women who are having these babies out of wedlock.
Correct.
We need to stop taking care of these women who are coming from other countries. We need to stop taking care of their babies. We need to take care of American families first by getting them away from the government and restoring order.
Okay, you're
American families first by getting them away from the government and restoring order.
Okay, you're a pastor, right?
Yes.
And you're a radio host?
Yes.
Okay, and you said you believe white people should have more children?
We definitely need white babies. And I tremble at the idea that white babies, that the white group is going down in numbers, because if you lose white folks, America, it's over for America. Because if you notice, white people tend to be more innovative. They're more creative. They have ideas about things. All these other races don't do nothing but destroy. They don't build.
But
they just...
Ooh-wee. The information man will be right back.
Did somebody hit something or?
No, he'll be back. I don't know. No, I didn't hit anything. So, oh, there he is. There he is. So on this one, Mr. Bennett, I'm gonna let you rock first. Mr. Bennett, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's obviously the most racist comment that I think, if there is such a thing as race, I think he made the most racist comment he can make. Inherent in what he's saying is that there's some attribution that is specific to Caucasians that makes them the creative forces that they are, and he simply just does not know enough about history, about the creativity, not only in the arts, but also in the sciences, in the engineering of African people, that you had African civilizations before the advent 500 years ago of white people on the continent of Africa, that there was technologically advanced civilizations in Africa, and a lot of that knowledge got lost. It was rediscovered in the Renaissance period. And so they may appear to have all the cards or the creativeness because it's been denied from other people. So, the idea that there's something inherent about Caucasians that makes them more capable than others, despite we can go through a slew, even in this country, of inventions, things that we're taking advantage of right now, that we use that has been created by Black people. It's not a race problem. It's a resource problem. It's an investment problem in people that can be the future inventors and the engineers and the creators of society. So I just think, again, it's blatantly racist, and building on a trope that, unfortunately, again, there are people out there who want to profit and benefit off of repeating or parodying the speech of racists. And unfortunately, a lot of these racists exist in the scientific community. I mean, if you go up, I know Wikipedia is not necessarily the most accurate source of information, but just look up scientific racism. Just look it up on Wikipedia, and you will find a good bibliography of racial theory and the things that come with it. And a lot of it is simply just parodying what unfortunately Mr. Peterson is saying. I won't even call him a reverend. But it's just purely nonsense. And he's building on a trope that unfortunately has been built up over 500 years for the sole purpose of keeping Black people from not recognizing that, we were bad people at some point. We can be the bad people again. And we're continue to do great things in this society. So I just dismiss what he's saying outright.
All right, now, Hank, what are your thoughts?
The only thing I agree with what he said was take care of home. That's the only thing I agree with.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we should give our resources to no other country but ours. We need to take care of home first, and we always should have and always need to. So that's the only thing I agree. Everything else I can't agree with. I can't go with. I mean, he sound like a white Negro. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Exactly. All right, and then we're gonna get information man. What are your thoughts? You muted, brother. Hold on, I think you muted with the
ability. He's actually a laughingstock, and also this is a man that's also being accused by people in the gay community of doing some sexual inappropriate behavior towards other gay men. So it's really a waste of time to even waste breath on this man. Jesse Lee Peterson, his claim of fame is that he is the creator of White History Month. Very proud of that. He's a guy that likes to gaslight and has some self-hate. So I don't really have anything. He's a waste of time. But I do real quick, just want to give a quick statement about the birth. Look, man, unless you want to be in a socialist country where they control your birth rates, when we might as well move over to China, because at one time in China, you could only have 2 kids. And if you had a female child, they don't value the female children as much as they value the male child. But then what happened in China is that they had a birth rate problem where they were not producing enough females to keep the race going. So now China has relaxed some of the rules about how many kids you can have. Blaming it on poor people, that's the common denominator that people always do. Obviously, if people have no money, they're uneducated, it's already been proven people who tend to be more educated will have less kids because they're working and they're building something. So it's obvious that people that are poor, potentially, if they make bad decisions, they could have many kids. But we were an agriculture country at one time where the reason why people originally had a lot of kids in this country was because we were based on a farming system where you had a lot of kids and you put their ass on the farm to work. I'm an example of that. My father is one of 15 children from North Carolina, and that's why they had kids. Plus, they didn't have birth control like we have today. So I think if anything, I don't think people need a license to have kids, but I think people should go through some type of counseling, just as you go through counseling, or you should go through counseling before you get married. In some religions, you have to go through some counseling religiously to make sure this is what you really want to do. I think we need to have more education and more counseling. And they say, well, poor people put a burden on the system. Well, last time I checked, if you want to blame poor people, you can make an argument that very rich people, like corporations, they fuck the world up. They fuck the world up with environmental toxins in the air. So you can go both ways and say, well, who's messing the world up? Is it someone who's having children, which the Bible says you should go forth and be fruitful? Or is it corporations that are poisoning our food, giving us GM food, destroying our air, our solar system, and our climate change? I would say that the corporations and people who are big business, they're the ones that's fucking the world up. And without all these people populated, they wouldn't make money off of us anyway. They need population. Of course, we have population control. So I don't agree with that. That's socialism, man. I don't want to live in a world like that. Of course, you're gonna pay for it, but you already pay for kids anyway because you're gonna pay taxes on schools and other things. So that's a cop out. That's what I wanted to say about that issue. That's nonsense. Yep. Nonsense, man. People need to do research. Listening to these talking heads, these people to get on these shows. Like Dr. Phil's ain't even credible. You know, Dr. Phil's lost his license some years ago. The only reason why he blew up is because he was a counselor for Oprah Winfrey when she was going through her trial against the meat companies. And he was a little jury consultant. Prior to that, that man didn't even have a license actually to practice his profession because he lost the license. So we're going to listen to him and the people he brings on his show, please.
Information, man. What are
please,
you
man.
talking about?
I'm talking about truth, man. Do the research.
You know that's what he'll say.
We have too many people on these YouTube streets who don't do no research, just talking. Yep. I do research.
Absolutely. All right.
No, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's just crazy. That's just nuts.
I know. That's my filibus right there. That's my filibus.
Yeah. So
So
information, man. Thank you for that.
Mandrell, I think you're confusing voices. Was that Dr. Phil or Charles Barkley? It sounded like Charles Barkley.
Like Charles Barkley. Oh yeah, terrible.
That's just terrible.
We'll talk about him in a minute. So Sheree, what are your thoughts, sweetheart? You muted.
And I know you saying some powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And the words of Dr. Umar, 50,000, 100,000 lashes for Mr. lashes for that man over there, okay?
Yeah.
My God. It's like I just, you can't even fathom what that man is saying on some level. Like it's kind of like in the beginning, if you wanted to start making some sense, he messed it up with a whole bunch of crap on top of it. It was just hard to like digest. It was like, wow, Uncle Ruckus is really real. Wow. Here we are. Uncle Ruckus is nice. Okay, there you are, right there in front of me. Exactly. Okay, got it. That's really all I got from it.
Tyrus, what are your thoughts?
Well, she got in just before she froze.
You still think you can save everybody, Tyrus? It gets dustier.
I can't save Jesse, man, but I can save his viewership.
Okay.
Because see, what y'all don't see is that, bro, I be everywhere.
All right.
Because I be on the panels arguing with these fucking loser ass supremacists too. Like one thing I always hit them with that be having them shutting the fuck up. If white people are really getting replaced, if young white men are getting replaced, since old white men are in control of everything, what is it about young white men that old white men are like, damn, the product's bad. We got to get rid of that shit. Because they're the ones passing the policies. They're the ones who own the businesses from the government, from the top down, bottom up, old white dudes. So if you're getting replaced, white guy, why are the people who look like you in a different generation looking at you and going, nah, we good. Mexico, Haiti, Syria, come on over. But see, they don't have an answer for that because at the end of the day, these kind of dudes, like the Jessies and then that other clown grifter, y'all got to realize, man, they live in neighborhoods where they know that the amount of school-age children are so low that their property tax isn't getting paid to school districts. You get what I mean? So they live in neighborhoods where they ain't got to worry about paying all their property taxes into the local school districts. And so they make these freaking arguments because guess what? The more the population grows, maybe they come into their local tax county. And then all of a sudden, damn, man, now I'm going to get that tax levy. Y'all ever pay attention when you go and vote and you see the levies at your local district or whatever, getting it approved, whether it's up and down? Guess what clowns like that grifter? Guess what clowns like Jesse Lee are voting for to disapprove that? Mm-hmm. We got to remember that these kind of dudes are tied into the fact that our school districts are paid by property tax, right? So when we get into these arguments with the federal government and how much it allocates from the education, you guys got to understand that the federal government already allocates enough in the education fund. It is upon the states to decide what to do with that. That's why we have to pay more attention to our state and local governments because they actually control the distribution.
Right, all government is local.
Funds. Yeah, but grifters like that, they're going to try to tell you, nah, it's the poor people's fault. It's the illegals' fault. You know what I mean? And it's fucking. And then when all said and done, it's the feminazis or the Jews. You know what I mean? I hate these dudes.
It's always been the position for people that are wealthy in this society. If you go back and look at the history, they've always blamed people that were poor, people that were in a down position. They blamed black people. So what happened to poor white men when they weren't skilled to get to do the things that black people could do? Because remember, when black people came out of slavery into Reconstruction, we were the ones that had most of the ability to build things, right? We were the masons. They didn't. So so white men were concerned about losing jobs to us, and that's why they started turning around and blaming us. The same thing, the thing that they do to other groups of people, you blame someone else, and you get the rich white men to say your problem is these black people, poor white man, and the same thing that they're doing today in politics, no different.
Yo, do you guys understand how much they hated black men after the Civil War? Like that's where we got debt peonage from. What information man is talking about is so freaking real right now. This is where we got debt peonage from. You guys got to understand that after the Civil War, we had 4 million black people freed. They managed to put 1 million of them back into bondage, like the chain gangs and things like that. Exactly. And one of the things was that if you were black and freed, but you didn't have a labor contract that said you was employed, they could arrest you and put you in jail and put you in debt bondage and things like this. Like you literally, guys, if you live in the South, you know what a sundown town is. Literally, it was illegal for you to be black after sundown. That's how they got you back into the prisons. Or our ancestors back into the prisons. And they've been playing fucking silly ass games ever since because of the federal government's failure to follow through during the Reconstruction era, man. And we've been floating in the ether ever since, man. I'm telling y'all, this shit is real.
I'm gonna get Coach K in here, but watch this. Information man, you probably already know this as well. Growing up in the South, I heard the older people talk about this. You know the sirens for the tornado? Those were not for the tornado.
Facts.
Those sirens, guys, when they go off, and some of them still go off in the South to this day. They were designed when they went off. That was for black people. It was telling the black people, now you can come out and go shopping, or now you can
it still goes off the first Wednesday of every month. It goes off here.
So it still go off in Alabama.
Yeah, the first Wednesday of every month.
Exactly.
Yeah, the first Wednesday of every month.
Every first Saturday. Of the month. It goes off.
And they still have them connected to that same time when it goes off of them. When it goes off, that the black people know all the white people are done shopping. Now y'all can go shopping. Right? And so that was that, man. That's I have to let my grandmother record her and just play her. I mean, some of the stuff she told me, I'm like, oh, what? But anyway, so Coach K, what are your thoughts?
It's just a lot. Jesse Lee Peterson. I mean, again, it's kind of like how I view Anton, in the sense that I'm not surprised. Like he's been saying what he said on that show, but worse. Honestly, I don't take him seriously whatsoever. Half the shit he says, it's like where are you getting this? You know what I mean? Like there's no like substance or depth. Like it's just shock value. And it's just intellectually lazy when it comes to topics like this that really require a lot of consideration. There's so many variables. You have to consider just how, events have played out, how modern times are. And what I think is interesting is the white race is actually declining in population growth. So it's like, if honestly, I swear I love Lady Navo in the chat. She always comes up with names for me. I love it. They're all my favorite. Karanisha. Oh, but at the same time, it's like I don't know what those, that are the elite or, in power, what their freaking motives are, because if they want white people to like repopulate, they're not doing a good job, because no one considers family anymore. This is just in general. Traditional values aren't there. There's I would say a growth in secularism. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to be hyperbolic, but it's just like the society is morally bankrupt at this point, I feel like. But
let me just say to Coach K this.
Yep.
This is very important. Not to get us off subject, but the whole issue about abortion, the abortion situation has not a damn thing to do, in my opinion, with their concerns about other women getting abortions. It has more to do with the fact that they don't want white women to get abortions because of the birth rates that you speak about, because they don't really care about the abortions of black women and other groups. I think it's really singularly targeted at trying to keep you all, white women, from aborting babies in a really weird way by doing it. That's just my opinion on that, and I'll just leave that alone. I don't want to get us off subject.
I'll only respond briefly because I know this. I'll have to disagree with you, but that is a very interesting conversation. Well, it's a sad conversation, but an interesting conversation that I would love to talk to you, like either outside of here or something. But yeah, I'll leave it there.
Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready for that
major announcement right now. As of today,
Jesse Lee.
that's the 1st of July. Which today is the 2nd, I think. Yeah, 2nd. But the 1st of July is White History Month.
I told you. He created it.
White History Month.
Okay.
So the whole month is White History Month from now on. Happy White History Month. As of July 1, 2018, we will be celebrating the entire month of July, White History Month.
Okay.
And the reason I picked July,
because it's a whitest month. It's
because white Christian males and female conservative straight men and women of God are very patriotic, and July just fit with white people. 4th of July, vacations, a quiet moment to appreciate the freedom that this great country offers. And so I figure, since white people founded this country and created the Constitution,
man, cut this shit off. Cut this bullshit off.
No, you know what's even crazier?
Woo,
this man has a very large following.
He does.
Yes.
He does.
A very large following.
Very large.
That's the problem. That's JT. That's why I'm so pissed, man. There's so many, because this crap isn't just social media anymore. It's not just on the internet.
Yeah. My thing is, listen. My thing is this.
Real world effects, man. I'm sick of this shit.
Here's the thing, Tarus. But when it comes to Jesse Lee, I discovered him years ago, right?
Yeah, me too.
The first time I saw him was like 6 years ago. Like 6 years ago. So I first saw him
30 years ago.
You may have, but no. What I'm saying is,
if anybody here remembers the Morton Downey Jr. show for that run that it was on, he was one of the first guests that was on there.
Yeah, because he was promoting Bond.
My thing is this. No, what I was going to say is, Black Man, is that I've heard him say way worse. Like I've heard him flat out say that white people were better than black people, like full throated.
Well, he doesn't consider himself black. He considered himself white.
No. He considered himself black.
No, he said he's white. He said he's white. That's why he came up with the whole. That's why he came up with the whole white thing.
I'm not going to argue with him.
He asked people the same questions.
He did the
I'm not going to argue with Jesse Lee Peterson. Okay. I heard him. He interviewed some lady. He said, "What do you think of the radical homosexuals?" I was like, he says the craziest stuff, and I'm like, I watched like 2 videos of him just to see if he was serious, and then everybody's commenting and everything like, "Oh no, this dude's serious. He's dead serious about the stuff he says."
Yeah.
Then he claims to be from Alabama. I'm like, I don't know how. There's no way you're from Alabama, and this is what you turned out to be.
He lived on a plantation.
Y'all know
why there was no racism back then.
Y'all want to know why Jesse Lee Peterson and these clowns unfortunately matter? Because without guys like him existing, there's no runoff in Georgia. Because let's be clear, here's a conversation we don't want to have. How many black men voted for Herschel Walker in Georgia?
A lot. I know one. I know one
who voted for me.
The winner went down there a long time ago, Black Man. And see, the vampires came out, and the vampires can get killed by werewolves. Did you know that?
I think you're giving
Mr. Bennett, did you know werewolves can kill a vampire? But see, Coach K, a vampire's a cool dude, and they go out and do cool stuff. And so that's why you need to vote for me come November. Seriously, that's how Herschel Walker talks. He can't speak English. And he almost won.
I still haven't listened to him. I don't want to. I can't.
Oh, if you want a good laugh, Coach K, it's hilarious. It is. Black Man, did you see that video I sent you? What he sounded like Mushmouth?
Go ahead.
Now, I get it when you're looking up for information or for a show or for something of purpose. But if you listen and get all this stuff injected into your veins and blow your blood pressure. Oh, did you hear what this dude said? Oh, did you hear what it took? Oh, and 18 videos that is just like Umar Johnson. He's talking. I make sure I'm not there and I'm not listening. All it's going to do is make you miserable. Why? And that's their job. There's nothing to benefit to hear anything that some of these people got to say. Now, if you're trolling them, I understand. That's what you practice on these type of clowns. If you can actually get one-to-one and get on them. But the constant injection, it's going to eat you alive. And
I will say this.
Talking about nothing, no way.
Can you imagine practicing that in 1930s Germany? Hey, man.
Let me say this.
Just ignore the Nazis. All right,
when it comes to Jesse Lee Peterson,
this is not going to be there.
Especially Jesse Lee. As we said a few minutes ago, we sit up here trolling him right now, laughing at him because he said White History Month. But when I tell you this man got probably 500,000 or 600,000, 650,000 followers, damn near 1 million.
He got 2 channels too.
He got 2 channels. He got in studio show. He has
how much funding does he get? How much funding do you think he get from Super?
That's the point. That's the point.
Okay,
and they'll give it to you. Herschel Walker. We were just talking about Herschel Walker. Hang on. We were just talking about Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker raised the most money in this 2022 cycle. He raised the most money out of all the other Republican candidates running for statewide office combined.
Yeah.
The Georgia race was the most expensive Senate race in history.
Damn.
Okay, I just
And
want
it
to say
almost
though,
worked.
seriously, like, I understand, like, I want to separate his asinine freaking comments. How do you say your name? Tarus? Is that how,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Truly, even though I know he has a ton of subscribers and he's famous, beta, whatever. And I think,
Beta.
right. And I think a lot of people have gone or maybe view his stuff just because he's had, you know, Destiny on there and like a bunch of people, and they want to see the fights. You know, that's why a lot of this content that's not important gets the viewership. However, politicians and what's really going on behind the scenes and some of the stuff we do know, they don't give a shit about Jesse Lee Peterson, honestly. Now, it's only poisoning people's freaking brains and not requiring people to think in depth about these issues and what's required. But I honestly don't think we need to give him any more power than really is necessary.
No,
Because
but listen.
truly,
No.
I
I need to
on a political
respond.
spaces, and they don't give a shit.
But hold on, let me say something. When you actually look, see, he has 2 channels, right? They're for different. They're for 2 different
Radio,
purposes.
and then he got an in studio.
Right. So one of them is gaslighting and for shock value and to have, you know, people. It's more of an entertainment type of thing. The other one, he has the politicians on there. He has the ones that's on there that people would consider to be somewhat important people. He actually have real conversations. It's just the fact that he doesn't just, he's not one facet. This man is multifaceted. He also has, you know, things where he's take care. He actually puts into the community. If you follow what this guy does,
he has something.
He's more than one person.
Yeah, he has an organization called. He has an organization called Bond, where he talking about saving the man, or I can't remember what
for young black men or some shit like that.
Yeah. And but you know what he did? Go ahead.
Oh, real quick, just to wrap it up, I'm just saying in general, and of course, I'm one person. I only have 24 hours a day, and I don't spend all those hours listening to politics because it's toxic as shit. But I listen to different. I'm conservative. I don't care. Say what you want. But I've been on here a while, guys. I love it here. But I've listened to so many different shows, and I actually listen to certain people because I like, you know, hearing about these. I love hearing different views. I love philosophy now and shit like that. But I'm just saying I don't hear them really talk about him in a way that's like valuable for me, like the type of, I guess, what the value that I'm trying to get from different shows and ideas and things like that actually require some intelligence. They're not talking about Jesse Lee. No, so that's all I'm saying.
No, Jesse Lee is not very well. He's sort of see, people like Jesse Lee Peterson are sort of like mascots. You laugh at them, they say little inflammatory things, but they don't really matter in the bigger picture. And most of the people that follow him, it's like it's a vacuum of people who believe in sort of the same goofy sort of stuff. But when you look at real hardcore politics, especially within the conservative movement, I'm talking about real conservatives here, Jesse Lee Peterson's sort of like an afterthought. You don't see him being invited to major events. He's sort of just, he's found himself on YouTube, you know, getting following. And like I said, y'all need to do your research on it. This man is actually has been outed by his own community about because he preaches this whole thing about morality and being against homosexuality, and he's been caught up in some indiscretions, folks. So he really isn't a validated guy anymore.
Did your research like you said
Why would I take
did
time
you
to research this?
being dismissive of those same people that got Trump elected will get Trump elected? You guys keep trying to be dismissive of Jesse Lee and their viewers, but y'all don't realize they vote too. That is one individual vote. So guess what? When you're talking about Black Lives Matter, or you're talking about things that affect the education, the education department and the law enforcement and international politics, guess who's voting right beside you? That same person you was like, oh man, Y'all fringe. Hey, he don't really matter. I know he goes to those American First super PACs. I know he gets invited on Fox News, the #1 mainstream news network in America, period. I know he's all over the place. And I know that he has millions of followers who also vote all around the country.
Yeah, they're the same people who vote for Donald Trump.
Somehow
Yeah, it's
pushing
the same
back
people.
against those guys, that we shouldn't bother.
I just don't think it's honest to correlate them, but okay, that's fine.
No, I'm just to reinforce what he's saying. Jesse Peterson is talking to the same people who are going to vote Republican anyway, and he's talking to the same people that like Donald Trump and many of the other people like Margie Green Taylor. He's talking to the same people, so it's not like we're going to convert those people anyway. So.
That's
No.
so dismissive, man. Like,
No, it's not, because if I'm talking about the fringe group of people that follow people like Jesse Lee Peterson. Some of those people you're not going to convert. So I'm not going to stress over it.
I know you can talk. I know you can bring them people back.
Like, I think he's like trash TV. Like, it's
I'm not gonna.
Voting doesn't save the world.
Well, I'm
Okay,
saying,
but talking to people do. If that wasn't the case, why are you here, Gusto? Like, if all you're gonna do is fist ride, why are you here?
wait, but are you coming to this conversation honestly though, Tyrese? Like, is it possible that there's anything that you could be, that like there's something that I could like add that like maybe you would be curious about, or like, you know, because we only have limited amount of time. Is there some information I might be able to share that you didn't know?
Okay, so what can you share about me?
In general, I'm just saying, like, are you coming in good faith right now?
Yeah, because I'm sticking to the argument here. I'm talking about right now Jesse Lee and this freaking grifter talking trash about poor people, arguing from these eugenics perspectives. I'm on topic here. Last time I checked, that's the topic.
Yeah, but you just brought in Trump voters and him.
Who
like,
listen
are you
to
saying
guys like this, correct?
so? What I want to get, I want to make sure.
You discredit everything Information Man said.
I mean, I just said that already. That these are people that follow Trump and they follow Jesse, and what reason why I said that, sir? Because the people that he speaks to are hardcore, die in the woods Trumpers who are not going to listen to liberals. They actually hate liberals. They hate the way the country is going. And what Jesse Lee Peterson does is he feeds into the monster of what they believe. So it's an echo chamber that they're getting, and they're not going to budge off of what they believe. They're not. Just like nobody is going to change. If I don't like the Republican Party, nobody's going to get me to change my idea about voting for the Democrats if that's what I want to do, and I don't believe in the Republican Party. And if I'm a die-in-a-whoop Democrat, nobody's going to move me off that block.
I get, which is
Caruso,
very
also,
good.
they want you to keep coming over there, clicking the button and links, and keep arguing and getting wrapped up.
Right, because he's obviously not principled, right?
Just
I mean,
like
look where he lives, right?
Wants a bunch of people to get wrapped up in the garbage.
I
That's
guess.
a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours over there, hyped up and going miserable over dust that ain't gonna change. That's my point.
I guess,
What
like,
you mean, man? This is just fun. I tell y'all all the time. Like at the end, like
I'm not talking about this
panel.
panel. We're having conversation.
Yeah, so let me get this.
I'm talking about wrapped up over the dust.
Let me get the super chat first. From Freezy.
I think Coach K was trying to make a last point.
I'll remember it, and then you go, and then I'll.
No, that's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, how do you break an echo chamber if you avoid it?
I will answer that right after this. So, no captivity with Freezy. Thank you for the $10 super chat. He says Patrick Rooney, longtime associate of Jesse Lee Peterson, outed Pastor Jesse Lee Peterson as a homosexual. Jesse Lee Peterson groomed Patrick for years, ever since Patrick was in his early 20s. Yeah, a whole bunch of other guys came out too and said he been sucking on their thighs too. So let's go ahead and play this super chat real quick.
I'll answer your question
and Coach K, this is for you.
Cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so. Every breath that I don't dream of the goodness.
I like that.
It's the little man with the big suit, the little fat man with the big suit.
Oh gosh.
He said it all, boy.
That was funny.
That was funny, bro. Hey, Mandrell, I saw you in the back, boy. I was over here crying, bro. I saw you doing the dance, bro. That was hilarious, bro. Oh my God.
You'll never not see it. You know, it's like the FedEx arrow. You'll never not see the freaking people the white people trying to do it.
that lady in the little ruffled dress that did the airplane,
Yeah,
bro. I
she
did
was-
not get over that part. That is hilarious, bro. All right, so back to the conversation. So, I want to ask you guys, when it comes to children, as far as, you know, I said poor people, do you think that what I think it was JT that alluded to, do you think that people should earn their earn to be sterile? I mean, earn to not be sterile? He said that, you know, they should have something where people are sterile until they can earn not to be.
I didn't say they should.
No, they not should, but he said there will be something like that. My bad. I want to make sure I quote you right, brother. Yeah.
Quote him right.
Yeah, I want to quote him right.
No, you're weird there.
I did say, I asked a question on one of the shows, your previous show that you had.
Right.
And people were saying that there should be a license to be a parent. So what I said, well, okay, do you think it should be at a point where human beings will be born sterile? And then they would have to get a license once they have age of having children, that they would have to get a license in order to be unsterile. And so, then you heard people say, no. But I was like, shit, y'all was just talking about regulating somebody's, the genitals.
Oh my goodness.
How else you gonna have? You gonna have to have a license. If you have it, what they gonna do? Put you in jail?
And you know what? That's gonna. I agree with you, JT. I think that's going to eventually start happening, because right now they're working on giving 10-year-olds, if they haven't already, giving 9-year-old and 10-year-olds the right to make decisions over their own bodies.
Nefarious, and it's kind of like a Trojan horse.
Yep. And so what's happening is they're saying, if a 10-year-old says, I no longer want to be a little boy and I want the surgery, and there's nothing mama can do about it if the school sponsors it, or any other organization wants to sponsor it. The mom can't do anything. Like even my daughter had an incident at school where she forgot to, y'all had y'all time with them or whatever. My daughter forgot her stuff that she needed for that. And they wouldn't even like they said, it's just, she's at the age right now, they can't tell you her personal business. And I'm thinking, she's 14. What the fuck? She's not an adult. Like why, we weren't called, or no, we don't have to tell you anything that goes on with your child. So it's getting to the point now, even on security, I have Bark. Have you guys never heard of that? It's called, for kids' cell phones, it's called Bark. It monitors everything that your child does on their phone. Anything vulgar that's being said on the phone, it will send something to your phone, and the pictures being taken. Anything that's bad for kids. You can't watch any sex or anything like that. I mean, it just shuts it off. And you also have control when your kids at school are too much activity. You can turn their phones off. And they have to have your code to turn it back on. So it's cool. It's pretty cool. But they're even changing the rules with that. Now they're sending a message to the kids, asking the kids, do you agree with your parents that you should have this? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, so let's get to the point now, kids at a younger age are pretty much able to do what the hell they want to do. So what do you guys think about, I want to ask this question. I know that's right, Freezy. I want to ask this question. What do you guys think about where the world is going today as far as the children? Let's talk about the children. As far as the children, do you think we've lost this generation of children with everything that's going, the climate of the world that's going on right now? We'll start with you, Mr. Bennett, then Information Man, and so on and so forth.
Do I think we've lost this generation of children? No, I do not. I still think you're talking about a very small slice of people, but I think a lot of this is being exacerbated by the very things that we've been talking about. When you have a reduction in population or birth rates, unstable families, the dysfunction between men and heterosexual men and women, all these other things become amplified because of it. But if people were doing what they need to be doing, then it wouldn't be so much of an issue. But to then put it on, these people like they're responsible for it. At least that's how sometimes the conversation comes off. So again, I never buy into this narrative that, it's because of a certain sliver of people that the world is going to go in hell in a handbasket. No, we, the majority of people, we can't get it right. 50% divorce rate and especially in this higher in our communities and whatnot. And we just create these conditions for weeds to fester. And then we want to blame the weeds for our dysfunction. So no, I'm not there yet as far as the red flag saying, oh my gosh, this is the end of society. I'm just not there with that. And I think this generation, I think they can certainly use some guidance and mentorship. I know we talked about the gap between the Gen Xers and the millennials and where the Zers are going. I think there needs to be some understanding. I need to be some mentorship, and we need to do some things differently. But I'm still going to be optimistic in that on that front. So I don't buy the hype or that everyone else is getting onto.
All right, information, man.
I think the issue with our youth today basically is the reflection of adults. Adults are the reflection of what's wrong with our youth. So I don't think that it's the end for our youth. I think it's the adults that have to get our shit together. So, for example, when I've done work with youth and you have black men who come together to mentor black men or young ladies, and we tap into their talents, they can do great things when you give them structure and you help them with direction and you tap into their talents and let them grow. And they can do great things. But when they're left alone to their own demise, what is that old saying? Idle time is the devil's workshop for a child. You keep your child busy in activities. Our kids that are going down the wrong path is because adults don't have themselves together. So when you have children, your children are mirroring what they see at home. Now, I used to work with kids that were abused, and most of their behavior was based on what they were seeing at home. If there's abuse at home, there's drug use at home, there's a certain discomfort in the household, the kids are going to project that because they watch us as adults. So I think if we really want to fix, if there is a problem, this generation or generations to come, I think it's an adult problem. We need to fix what we're doing wrong because they're watching us, and we need to project what we want them to do instead of saying to kids, as they used to say to us back in the day, do as I say and not as I do. You to be seen, but not heard from. I think that's an old school philosophy, but I don't think it works. I don't think it's going to work with the kids today because the kids today have access to so much information. So we've got to figure out how to show better example. The only thing that concerns me with this generation that I would say is different from Gen Xers like myself is that they're too electronically inclined, which has hurt their interpersonal skills. Meaning these kids spend too much time tapping on computers and tapping on their phones, and they're doing the Instagram and they're doing the TikTok. And I remember I went out somewhere a couple of weeks ago, and it was a whole bunch. It was like an ice cream shop or some big dessert shop. And there was a lot of kids, and they were and you know what they were all doing?
On their phones.
They were all on their phones, on their TikTok, making their videos so they could post them. Whereas if that had been 30, 40 years ago when I was a kid or somewhere in that, you would see the kids talking to one another, interacting with one another, doing imaginative games, interacting and building their interpersonal skills. That's the danger of what this generation is being infused with, which is a danger. But I'll stop right there.
Information, man. Let me tag something on before everybody else cook. The other day I was watching Jim Carrey speak. And Jim Carrey said, everybody's waiting on the zombie apocalypse. But it's already here.
Uh-oh.
And the guy said, what do you mean, Jim? He said, watch this. And they showed a video. And dude, it would amaze you. He had somebody sit with a camera and watch people all day.
Mm-hmm.
And all you saw was people doing this.
Right. No interaction. No talking to
No
anybody.
talking to each other.
Right.
Everybody wandering around, they face just like this. Like they walking out in front of traffic. I mean, it was, but I was like, fuck. Like, if you really pay attention, people are
Right.
just walking around like zombies for real.
Right. If you ask, I did this one time. If you ask some of these kids, not all of them, but there's some that are like this. If you say to let's say you got a nephew and you say, hey, call me, man. Don't text me. Call your uncle. Some of these kids will look at you and be like, call you? What the hell is calling? You know, I'll text you, uncle. No, call me, man. Try it with your own family.
Yes.
Or when you're in a house, I think everybody should do this if you have kids. When your kid's in the house and there's family time, phones and tablets got to go away. Damn it. No phones at the table. When you're in a car and your kids are just doing this, put that damn phone down. Let's have a conversation. I rest on that.
Can I ask something?
So go ahead, JT, and we'll get everybody to find out. Well, matter of fact, we can do that now. So hold on just a second. We'll get everybody in here. All right. So we'll pull. Are we the information man? Information man, you already spoke, but you go ahead and get your final thoughts, man. As we close out.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Okay. I just want to say thank you for letting me come up at the last minute.
Yeah.
Great panel, great discussion. Let me just say once again, I'm a father. I'm responsible for raising my child, teaching her those interpersonal skills, exposing her to things. And I'm responsible for raising a sensible adult as best I can. And I'm responsible for the things that I do and that I put out. Okay. We're not going to be able to change everybody. We're going to change some people's minds, but there's not going to be everyone that we can change. Right. So if some people believe, as the brother believes, that, hey, it's poor people's fault and that they're having kids too much, I may disagree with him and I may not be able to change his perspective, even if I don't agree with it. But we're all here on this planet together, on this rock together, and we got to figure out how we're gonna make it through. Because if not, as humans, we're gonna be we're gonna go down in a crash if we don't somehow get control of the wheel and turn this whole thing back around properly and steer it in the right direction. So thank you, Black Man Unfiltered, for letting me come on. I'm sorry that we had to get into this conversation about Jesse Lee Peters. My God, man, that guy is something else. But thank you, and thank you everybody on the panel. and remember, everybody, not Jesse Lee Peterson, I am the original man who created White History Month. Take care, everybody. Peace.
All right, man. Thank you so much. All right, hold on, Coach. I'm gonna get you last. Let me get my girl in here. All right, Sheree, what are your final thoughts on the show tonight, sweetheart? You muted, baby.
This was some very interesting some stuff right here. This was very interesting. You know, it's interesting when you give somebody a microphone. Somebody a microphone and have the power to reach thousands. You get to find out how people really actually think and how they actually feel. That's also one thing you can learn from this. When it comes to the children, Information Man really took what I was going to say. I was going to say we got to start with the adults first, because one thing that I learned, if you ever paid attention to a kid and you be like, God dang, and then you meet their parents and be like, oh, it makes sense. You know, we all been there before. So it really got to start with the adults, because the kids can't be the way they are without the parents being who they are first. So yeah, that's with that. And yeah, Anton Daniels, interesting. Jesse Lee Peterson, interesting. 100,000 lashes. That's
Oh my God! Listen, that caught on real quick. A lot of people are doing that now. 25,000 lashes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sheree, man. You guys make sure you go over and subscribe. Tell everybody how they can find you, sweetheart.
find me at Sheree B Chicago, CHARAEB Chicago. That's Sheree B Chicago on Instagram and on YouTube. My YouTube channel does reaction and reviews. We will start doing reviews next week for anybody who's gonna go over there and say I don't see no reviews. But we will start doing the reviews next week. So go over there and check it out.
All right, thank you so much, Ray, and thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you.
I thank you for if you contacted me and asking me to be up here.
This ain't gonna be my last time, okay?
Okay.
All right, all right, bye-bye. All right. Tarus, what are your final thoughts, my guy?
At the end of the day, it's the clowns like the video we watched today, which is why I got motivated to even hop on panels and random panels, because I got to remind myself that when I do, I tend to be the youngest one. I thought I would be maybe one of the oldest ones at 35, but I actually tend to be the youngest. And unfortunately, like I tell you, BM, I hold men to a higher standard because I got 2 daughters, 14 and 12. And so I'm actively seeing them and seeing what the boys they interact with, how they are. And some of these boys watch Jesse Lee. Some of these boys watch Tucker Carlson. Some of these boys watch Andrew Tate. I'm looking at that as a father going, if my daughters bring home some fucking clowns like that, I'm gonna lose my shit. But guess what? They vote. That starts with a lot of the people in my generation and later. I'm millennial. I know most of you guys are Gen Xers, but guess what? That starts with us. The reason why I'm so open on camera is because guess what? You can find out if I'm lying anyway. It's the internet, so you might as well just tell the fucking truth. And you know why I do that, BM? Because my daughters got the ability to fact check their dad on the spot, and a lot of adults can't handle that. They can't handle the fact that these kids could fucking check you right then and there to see if you lying to their face or not. Y'all done said some old wives' tale shit, and they were like, nah, you full of shit, dad. So I'm always reading and always researching and always studying because my kids are always asking me questions. I have the E-Trade. My daughter's already asking me to help learn how to invest because she want to make more income like I do. You know what I mean? We just ride around drive. She's just like a little mini me, man. You know what I mean? But you got to encourage that. You got to be down for that. Hey, guess what? Kids aren't open like that if you're a helicopter parent. But guess what? You got to have a bunch of kids to even experience that. And so these clowns talking about poor people not having kids, man, F them dudes, man. Hey, y'all have a good night. Hey, BM, thank you for having me again.
Hey, not a problem, man. Go Browns.
Go Browns, baby.
All right, appreciate you, man. Have a good night, brother. All right, Mr. Bennett, what are your thoughts tonight, my brother, on the show?
All right. Well, one thing we didn't get into as far as the population argument. It's interesting. A lot of these conservative people or people with money, they always talk about this, but then in the same breath, they also talk about Social Security and how the Social Security fund runs out. Well, Social Security was supposed to work because the idea was that the young people who were coming behind you would pay for the older ones. But now that people are having fewer children overall, now you're going to have this big debt because of the baby boomers and whatnot. That in generation is dying out, and then Gen Xers are right behind them. So what do you want? You know what I mean? So again, it's interesting. You can make almost any argument work when you're in a bubble, when you're in your ivory tower, when you're in your Versace robes, or however some of these people move. You could always make the point, but you need to look at the whole picture and how a lot of these things are connected. But the most fundamental right there is, and it is a right, is certainly to create life and prayerfully to bring that life into adulthood to be a productive citizen. And I don't think that's certainly something that should only be restricted to those who can make $150,000 a year, because those people who are making 150 aren't having that many kids. And as a matter of fact, you're not having many kids either. So, so again, your logic is off. And as far as the whole thing about white exceptionalism, one of the best privileges I ever had back in college was I had a professor in college whose name was Ivan Van Sertima. and his major book was They Came Before Columbus. One of the books that we had in his class was Blacks in Science. I recommend that you go and pick up a book like this because it'll tell you a lot about how ancient technology, how a lot of that history and science from Africa, how that stuff was either stolen or destroyed and had to be rediscovered again. Okay, so again, this idea of racial exceptionalism of any race for that matter, I think is, like I said, is the epitome of what racism is. So I would certainly recommend doing that. I also had the privilege of also being his neighbor. We lived in the same town also, so I got a chance to pick his brain quite a bit. But a lot of this information has just being shared simply because people aren't researching, they're not studying, they don't know the history. So know a little bit more about yourself so that you can certainly understand that who you are, that you are powerful and you can be anything that you want to be when you put your mind to it. So thank you, Black Man, for having the conversation tonight. And God willing, I'll see you guys on Friday in the barbershop.
All right, my brother. Appreciate you so much, Mr. Bennett.
Yes, sir.
All right. The Dustosphere. What are your final thoughts, my guy?
Final thoughts. Cash and time are resources. Use them well. Move with some kind of purpose. Don't get wrapped up into the garbage. If you go into a garbage can and sit there for 3 hours, you're probably going to come out smelling and you're going to be garbage. But garbage is looking for more garbage. There's going to be a class of people who have something. There's going to be a whole stack of victims. Don't do the stuff that makes you end up over there with the victims. Don't do it. They're recruiting. They're recruiting strong. They don't care about race, height, weight. They want more victims. Their job is to wrap you up in all of this nonsense that got nothing to do with nothing. Focus on the stuff that can get you to be the person and get the stuff.
All right, man. Dustosphere. We last week we ran a rerun for Dustosphere. But Dusto, what you got for us this week, my brother?
As far as the Dustosphere, it will actually be closed. I'll be moving. I'm closing my first home.
Hey, congratulations, brother.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Hopefully I can convert it into a multifamily. Then, oh yeah.
Opposite of Dustosphere.
Oh, you planning on doing that?
Have dust in the front and dust in the back. Then it's just
absolutely. Hey, listen, the Dustosphere got a Duster mansion now. So y'all get ready for the Dustosphere after he moves. He'll be back running that thing again. So congratulations, Dustosphere, man, on your home, brother. From me to you, man. Congratulations, brother. All right. Appreciate you, Dusto. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mandrell, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I don't like censorship, so I can't say what I want to say. So, I mean, what is there to say, Blip? I mean, you saw the videos.
If Jesse, and YouTube friendly, if Jesse was on the panel right now and he said, "Amazing, Mandrell," if you had to say one sentence to him before he got off the panel, YouTube friendly, what would you say? It's not possible, huh?
No, that's what I would say.
Oh, you just shake your head at him?
What else can I do? I got no words for him. There's nothing you can say that's going to affect that. Gonna do anything about that situation.
Because if you
he is a situation.
He definitely,
you know what I'm saying? He is a situation. What else can I say?
Situation.
I mean, but no, everybody, listen.
Well, listen, Shushu not here, but if Shushu was here, she would tell him.
I should have fucked you up, but I let you walk away, and I let you come get yourself together. But bitch, I'm gonna let you know if you ever pull that shit on me again, that will be your last motherfucking day standing. I promise you that.
All right. That's what she
would say. Something like that. She would. You know.
Woo. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying, people, just don't. I understand and accept the fact that the black community ain't coming back. It is what it is. Just don't turn into that, though. I'm not that. I don't think that. I mean,
pretty close.
No, I don't think that white people are better than black people.
Yeah,
And
you better be careful. I was kidding.
right. White people ain't shit. I mean, white people ain't shit either.
Right, people ain't shit.
Yeah,
No
white people
way.
ain't shit.
Like,
You know, they're not. It's just I've seen
Coach K, man, Coach K.
Coach K. I've seen your kind.
Ain't nobody shit.
All right.
he was good at human. That's what I always say. But when I'm
Yeah, they're only right. They're just people. I mean, so
nobody shit.
Just love each other and so on.
What you gonna talk about tomorrow night?
We might have a show. I gotta talk to my sister, see if she's gonna be able to make it. If not, I'll probably do a solo.
Okay. I was gonna say I got a great co-host for you.
Who?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Amazing. I'll do it then. Yeah, you bring him. Yeah, you bring him in. I will do. Hey, look, I'll be here first thing in the morning waiting.
Beta.
Right in this, I'll be waiting to do that show in the morning. I'll be sitting in this chair waiting to do that show.
Oh my God!
Don't go live to 8:30 p.m. I'll be here 7:30 a.m.
Oh man!
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean that.
So y'all stay tuned because whatever he's gonna do tomorrow, I'll make sure it's posted.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs when it comes to people like that. Anton Daniels, though, I mean, whether he agrees with that rhetoric or not, it's the language that concerns me. You know what I'm saying? On a public, on a stage is that public and that visible. Some things you don't have adult conversations amongst children, and that's the issue. You know what I'm saying? So he shouldn't have said that.
All right. Well, Mandrell, I appreciate you. Before you go, I just want to let you know that TikTok decided to mute one of my videos today because I said that women are walking around with their lashes looking like spray painted.
You bullshit.
Wait, what spray paint?
That was my favorite one right there.
Yeah, I was.
I didn't hear what he said. I didn't hear what he said either.
On TikTok, I said women are talking about they want a husband, but they're not doing anything to get a husband, and they're walking around with this weave in their head, wigs on their head, blue hair, orange hair, green hair, and they have these eyelashes on, looking like spray painted hospital gloves.
They muted it.
And they muted it.
What does that mean?
You know how the lashes be hanging down like this?
No, they muted it.
Oh, when they mute it,
Like,
that means
shadow
somebody
ban
reported
type thing?
it or they got offended by it, shit like that.
So is it still?
And they took the sound away.
Yeah, they just take the sound away, let the video stay.
My thing is I think someone's after the channel. I think they don't like me. They don't like you for whatever reason.
No.
Honestly.
Sir Hill is catching it too. Sir Hill is catching it too.
Serious?
Anytime you start talking about this stuff, you start talking about it from a real perspective, it's just a matter of time they're gonna get you.
Like the channel was
That's
having a
why-
conversation that was full of dust. I mean, I was talking to people, and I would tell them a fact, irrefutable fact. No, I don't believe that. See, men this and blah blah blah, men that blah blah blah. No, I'm saying there's blame on both sides. Both sides have to acknowledge that. Hey,
Y'all be better off using.
The other part says the lady said, "Okay, we messed up too. Now here's how we messed up, and here's how we fix it." That's how you move forward. And that's how you fix the problem. But a lot of people don't want to fix the problem. So
Right.
I'm like,
And y'all, and so again, and y'all look out for Mandrell because I know everybody got to get out of here, so I'm gonna get everybody out of here. But y'all look out for Mandrell tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shushu. Thank you so much, Mandrell, man. Much love to you, my brother. Now Bluetooth Animated is in the building. Before I get Hink in here, she said, "Black Men Unfiltered Network. There's nothing wrong with my wigs. Yes, it is. You shouldn't be wearing them. Be yourself. And people don't like it when you be yourself. Then fuck them. But be yourself. You know what? Beautiful Animated. You got all your hair shaved off. You don't think that man, while you giving that man fellatio, you don't think that man want to have his hand on that big old bald head of yours, just controlling your head, just like this, just rub the top of that big bald ass head of yours and slap you on the back of your head like this. While you giving that fellatio, come on now, come on, grab it. And he got your head like a joystick. Shit. Yes. Yes. All right. So, Hank, what's your final thoughts, my guy?
Oh man, black men, protect yourself at all times, brother. You know how we do.
Absolutely.
Hey, get in on a Zoom meeting, on somebody's couch. Do what you have to do to get your mental right. Get your A1C in order. Go get your blood work done. Please go get your prostate checks as well as colonoscopies.
Mm-hmm.
On the way we're gonna conquer this world, we got to be around. So don't want you to be around. You got to be healthy, strong, and vibrant. So let's do what we got to do. Hey man, hey black man, definitely come check out. Check in with me.
You sent it to me, right?
I definitely I sent you the YouTube. I'm gonna send you the
link.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link here shortly.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be there. What time tomorrow? Let everybody know what time you're going on tomorrow. 7
p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay, cool.
And the topic of the show is just called divorce.
Ooh.
We'll leave it at that.
Oh, I need to be on there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I'll send you the link, man. You know, anybody.
We all have been through one. JT been through one. Me and you. Yeah, hell yeah.
Anybody who experienced it, definitely come up and have the conversation, man.
Absolutely. Right. Hey, now Hank, I'm gonna ask you this: how you feel about Beautifully Animated? Shouldn't she not wear them wigs and just wear that big old bald head?
Man, I ain't gonna fool with you, man. I ain't gonna fool with you. I'm gonna let you crack on her. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Congratulations to your son, man. I think your son, you posting your son, man. That's some cool videos, bro. So I'll be following you, man. So congratulations to your son and all his success, my brother.
Yeah, we'll be down in Atlanta this weekend, man. So just definitely pray for us on the safe trip and
absolutely.
Dope.
And hopefully we can go out there and have some fun and get a win or two.
All right, man. We appreciate you so much, man. And you know what, Hank, while you're here, man, congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your relationship with your lady. And congratulations on you being a great father, bro. I want to give you your flowers while you can smell them, man. So congratulations on being just a great man altogether, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Much love to y'all. You know how we do it.
Absolutely. All right, brother.
I'm sending the link right now. I got you.
All right, man. Hey, listen. Now
you
go in there.
Now,
Hank, go in there and make your beard longer, brother.
I said he got a fist in his beard.
He said shit. All right, man. Love you, my brother.
All right, now. Take care now. All right, Coach K.
JT, what it is, yo.
What he do?
Y'all see JT beard? Shit, he been putting in that work too.
I've been putting in that work. I got coconut oil in this shit right now.
Oh shit, bro, you crazy, man.
Yeah, man. But let me just start out by saying I believe the children are the future.
Teach them
well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
Yeah. Give them
give them a sense.
Yeah, give them a sense to make it easier.
Pride.
Yes.
To make it easier. Let the children's laughter
come on.
Remind us how we used to be. Sing along with me.
Oh, Lord.
That was perfect timing, I swear.
I'm gonna give it to you. Look, here you go. We go feel good, bro. Go ahead, man.
No, man, but oh, man.
Oh my God. Oh shit, bro.
But it was still a great conversation, man. We always can move the conversation forward, man. We could always have a part 2 to every conversation we've ever had on this platform. But that Jesse Lee Peterson, boy, I tell you what, if you want to have a great laugh, trust me when I tell you, watch some of them shorts that he got, some of them short videos. You will have it ain't him that's gonna make you laugh. It's the people's reaction that's gonna make you laugh. You can't take that man serious, man. You can't take him serious. But when we talking about
hold on just a second. Black David is in the audience. Black David, what's going on, man? It's so good to have you here, man. Okay, you can go ahead.
I knew you were gonna do that. I swear to God. I'm about to pull something.
Black man.
Number one.
Number one. Don't start with
Look,
me.
look at the chat. Look at the chat. All right, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Oh my God.
No, man, we definitely we have to actually have another like a part 2 of this right quick, because once we start talking about eugenics, once we start talking about the things that people, and we go in depth, you'll be amazed at how many people say, yeah, we should have regulations or somebody's reproduction system and all those different things. So I'm telling you right now, the conversation can get a lot more deeper, but I'm glad when we on Tuesdays, man, we can have it where it's kind of light, that way we can have room for people to come back and we can be able to elevate the conversation even more.
I want to tell you now, wait till Friday. Friday is if you find out the child's not yours, do you stay? I mean, no. If you find out the child's not yours, do you stay a parent in the child's life?
Oh yeah, that's a very good one, boy.
It's going down Friday. Ooh, I can't wait to hear what the fella's gonna say.
I'm gonna keep that one in my back pocket. That's
boy, that's tough.
Yeah,
I got a video, man. I got a video, man, gonna shock you, boy. I got a video gonna shock you. But all right, yeah, go ahead.
All right, man. You guys can follow me on What We Know Podcast with my boy Rob and myself. On matter of fact, on Thursday we're gonna do a show. I don't know where exactly what the show is, but we always pull some good shit out of it.
Absolutely.
We might even do another one on Saturday. We're trying to double up on our videos and stuff like that because we're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers.
Come on.
If you guys out there, y'all have not subscribed to What We Know Podcast, please go over to our channel and subscribe to our channel. Also, look at some of that content we got on there. Like those videos, even share those videos, man. I'm telling you, you won't be.
Do you let your cat be in any of them?
Excuse me?
Do you let your cat be in any of them?
Do I have a cap in any? I didn't hear what you said.
Do you let your cat be in any of them?
Cat.
My cat?
Your pussy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my pussy be in the videos every once in a while. As a matter of fact, they have to have their own little channel.
Stop it right now. I'll be there for one.
You know what? I can't wait to see Brother with the pussy on his lap.
With the pussy on the lap. Getting a lap dance from the pussy.
Get that little cat a little wig. That'd be so cute.
Dude, hey, listen, man. Before you get out of here, since you're the last person, bro, this for you, man. I'm dedicating this to you. Listen.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to the Hot Show.
Dude, I swear to God, guys, if you have not heard the Mr. Ha soundtrack, you are outside of your mind, okay? Here it is.
Mr. Ha's in the building. He's your man. Spreading the Ha all across the land. Mr. Ha is in the building. Yes, he is. He's your man. Spreading the Ha all across the land. One more time, say, Mr. Ha, he's in the building.
I can't wait to get to the verse. Get to the verse.
Man, spreading Ha across the land.
Well, when you did this, and you threw that shoulder while I was out.
Building, spreading the Ha across the land.
Here comes
He's a man that will not lie. He'll say Ha to you before he lies. He's got an afro. He wears a pick. He wears a robe and he talks a lot of shit. Mr. Ha is in the
Oh my God.
Man, You sound like doggo. What's the my man, the bald head guy?
Oh my God,
Isaac Hayes, man. Yes.
When it first came on, yes, man, that shit was hilarious, bro. Oh my God,
That
I'm
was
over here in
good.
tears.
That was good.
Appreciate
Yes,
it,
sir.
man. Like,
And
look how far
I
this
don't be
is.
talking about nothing either. I'd be like, I just be saying whatever come to my mind too. That'd be so funny, man.
Man, I had somebody tell me they'll listen to that in their car, just driving. But man, I appreciate
was
JT,
quoting
man.
them and everything.
Yeah, man, I love you, brother. You my brother, bro. I
No, you
love you to
got it,
death,
man.
man. And
Most definitely.
man, much love to you and your family, brother. And go get you some rest, man. I know you gotta get up in the morning and hit it just like I do. So I appreciate you for coming in, man.
My man. Hey, love y'all, Coach K. Hey, y'all stay up, man.
All right, brother. See
Have a
you
good
later,
night,
man.
JT. See ya.
All right, man.
Oh my goodness. Whew.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. And you know what? It took me probably 9 takes to do that song because I was laughing.
Just 9?
Huh?
Oh my God. I think just 9. I mean,
Dude, I was laughing so
I
hard.
would have been too.
And he was like, I called him. I said, listen, I got a theme song for Mr. Han. He said, okay. I played it. He was at work. People was looking at my boy JT. He was at work laughing his ass off. So
It sounds so good. How many times did the Dustosphere one take you?
the Dustosphere, I did the Dustosphere in 2 takes because it took me 2 takes to do the Dustosphere. But it took me about 9 to do this one because I tried to keep my voice low because I kept laughing. So I was like, on the first take, I was like, yeah. I could. So I had to keep doing it over and over again. On that 9th one, I said, okay, I'm gonna be serious and I'm gonna get through it. And I got through it. So
You're
Mr. Han,
so damn
Mr. Han.
creative. I can't.
Oh my God. So
Your tech skills. Oh my God.
what are your final thoughts, sweetheart?
Oh God. Like seriously, you just come up with the funniest shit. But all in all, I swear, you just come up with the best topics, and these conversations, they're just not your typical YouTube space, like gender war,
Right.
relationships. Like there's always, and there are topics that matter to, of course, the Black community, but I think like just American culture in general. These are conversations that just need to be had, honestly. And I wanted to just end with when Mr. Bennett shared that book, made me think of something that another life coach says, that everyone, oh gosh, Lady Novo just makes me crack up. It's Canadian boy. I can't look at the chat. Like,
Yeah, because they funny as hell.
I need a theme song. Don't do this. Oh my God, don't even get it started. But anyway, so with that book, The Blacks in Science, it made me think of something that another life coach says, that everyone, and this goes along with people having kids, everyone has a purpose on this earth. And of course, I would tie my faith into this. You know, God has a purpose for you, and something that he wants you to carry out, to serve whatever that is. But don't let fear or your insecurities, or even like putting your power in the hands of other people, don't let that stop you from creating whatever it is and innovating. Because just look at those scientists. They put everything aside and still created those things. And it was scary. I'm sure it was really hard, especially at those times. But they still did it. So it's like, use that as inspiration, use it as fuel to carry out whatever you may be putting on the back burner because you're nervous or afraid of being rejected, whatever it is. Just go out and do it because people need you. Just don't, self-sabotage ahead of time by believing some of the shit that people say on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, don't do that. But yeah, it's a great conversation. Just really funny.
Man, I'm gonna say this. When it comes, K Soul has been rocking with me since day 1 too. He says Black Man definitely has some dope topics. Listen, bro, just because you just now, I just thought about it. We're almost at 400 shows. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of commitment, and always coming up with a topic and having the man. It's been a long road. It has been. Thank you guys for supporting in the chat. Coach K, thank you for coming on and co-hosting on Tuesdays. What are you guys going to talk about on Thursday? Do you know?
Thinking about end of the year, kind of holiday eating, but also goal setting for the next year.
Absolutely.
Because people like end the year strong. It's not over yet, but also what type of goals people have, and maybe how to goal set, and maybe open it up and see if people want to talk about goals. And because I want to start getting on people, like, let's go, whatever it is, I'm here to help you if you have questions. So stuff like that.
Absolutely. Well, hey, listen, get your mind right, guys. We'll be on every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yep.
So you guys make sure you come in and support them. You have Coach K here. Also, you have Chef Big Al here as well. So make sure you guys come and support them they're going to tell you what to eat. And then Big Al's going to probably say, hey, listen, this is what you could eat, because she's a chef. And then you're going to have Coach K trying to get your mind right, and being disciplined. So guys, please come and support them. If you hadn't hit the like button, subscribe button, hit the like button, subscribe button, also hit the notification button, so you know when they go live here on Black Man Unfiltered Network. So thank you guys so much for that. All right. So again, Coach K, thank you so much for being amazing.
Thanks for having me, Black Man. You're the best.
Now, listen, I have a group of girls that's going to come in probably the first of the year and talk to you. They sent me a picture of themselves, so I'm going to show you. Here it is.
Oh, my God. For a second. Oh, no, I should have known better.
They said they want you to coach them up. So
thank you.
We're going to talk to them. But K Soul said he'll definitely be supporting you, Coach K.
Oh, he's great. He's cool.
All right. So that's going to be Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So that's it. Anything else you got, Coach K?
That's it. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in.
All right. Well, hey, guys, go do something nice for someone. If you don't have anybody to do anything nice for, do something nice for yourself, because self-care is the very best care. Coach K will tell you that. So we love you guys, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the sports show. 1-in-1 Sports Show will be on at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Those guys are going to be talking everything sports. And then right after that, Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shushu at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And on Thursday, the Dustosphere will be a rerun on Thursday, because the Dusto is moving. But then at 6:45 p.m., I was thinking about maybe you guys should do never mind, I'll talk to you about it. But 6:45 p.m., Coach K and Big Al will be on for their show as well. So thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.